one. We believe in no political party. We have no region. We have no tribe. We believe not in social or class standing. We believe in democracy. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in good governance.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy. 98.1, simply the best.
Monday, November 29, 2021. We're sorry for starting a bit late due to technical issues. We'll be again at the studio. But now with that, they say good morning and welcome to the first edition of the program Good Morning Saloon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Where they bring you this Monday edition of the program Good Morning Saloon. Musa Kamara, na my name.
And Mina Mabel Kaba, good morning. Inside this Monday edition of the program Good Morning Saloon, the Member of Parliament for Constituency 042 Nafalaba District, Honorable Lahe Maradon, call on government to investigate the Ministry of Finance for corruption, where it said they happen at the debt department at this ministry.
Mr. Speaker, we need to investigate debt to the Ministry of Finance. It is very much serious and important. There is huge corruption hiding under debt.
The Director of Culture at the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs for the Jalo say the over 60 salon people where Irandongi Sabitu, they can help improve the tourism sector in Salon. And at the program this Monday morning, the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Raman Swarego, can talk about the outcome of the civil society and media dialogue, where they all over the weekend for know how far governments don't go for implement the manifesto promised them.
Well, this and other tourism day at the program for you, plus after we the mayor at the Freetown City Council, Yvonne Akisoya, don't anuba documents them to for some FCC projects them to the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament. The chairman for this committee, Honorable Senga Paul Thomas, say the committee will begin question the mayor inside the next 2 weeks. Members say they listen to we live on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by AfriCell. And say they listen to we from Radio Shalom 89.5 in Akwenadugu and Falaba District, same way so on Radio Malen 88.5 and Radio 1G 11.3, Voice of Masoro 90.5, all from Pujaun District, Radio Kolente 90.5 na Cambia, Radio Moa 105.5 na Kailaun, Voice of Kadene on 98.0 na Kamakwe, Vopad Radio on 96.5 FM na Waterloo, and Voice of Sando 95.7 FM na Kono District. The program na Good Morning Saloon, you can be part of excuse me. The program na Good Morning Saloon, you can be part of by way you can go on our Facebook page and drop your comments there on issues them we will talk inside the program. The program na Good Morning Saloon, where they come to you from 98.1 FM. As here from one power headline today, we will talk to the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Raman Sware. We will talk about the outcome of the civil society and media dialogue, where they all nabu over the weekend. For that, I want to welcome the Minister of Information and Communication at the studio. Good morning, Mr. Sware, and welcome to the program Good Morning Saloon.
Good morning, my family. I'm glad for there.
Okay, continue for the with me inside the program Good Morning Saloon.
The program they continue 7:36 at the time from a studio clock. The first issue we will look at the program this morning. Now, also last year, the Ministry of Information and Communication been start media and CSO retreats for go talk about the thing them way been inside President B manifesto promise them and waiting governments on the do and how far they don't go for implement next year. Also, the president for the Salon Association of Journalists don't say radio station them, especially community radio station, and get serious challenge for run the institution there because they say they know they get better support from government and other body them. Well, for more on waiting happen at this year, it's way than just all na both. Theodore Arena go reports.
Enhancing the media contribution to good governance and democracy in Sierra Leone. Now the theme for this year's second media and civil society engagement on President Bio in achievements, where the Ministry of Information and Communication together with them partner them, all na both districts from the 25th to the 28th November this year. outside different ministries, departments and agencies them in present for make them go talk about the thing the way they don't do and serve the one the way them plan for do. Jacob Jusu Safawi na the chief minister and same so the keynote speaker for this retreat say the retreat where the information and communication now for create opportunity for the government for make them tell citizens them but the thing the way the government don't do through the media and the civil society people them.
The recognition of this annual event is based on the fact that it creates an opportunity for the government to present its performance records to the citizens through engagement with the fourth estate media. In addition, at this event, a platform is readily created for government to hear from and receive feedback from the media practitioners. This is truly a platform for information sharing, since the giving and receiving of feedback is critical for informing the setting up of national development and government agenda of any country. Governance in the 21st century and hopefully beyond is rooted in inclusivity, participation, partnership, transparency, and accountability.
Jacob Jusu Safa continues say the new direction in focus now on human capital like agriculture, health, gender, and other one them.
The new direction has prioritized human capital with close emphasis on key human development sectors of education, agriculture, health, with cross-cutting focus on social welfare, protection issues, gender, and infrastructure. Through the human capital development lens, this administration hopes to increase the proportion of trained and qualified human resources and to stimulate the growth and sustainable development of CLM, nurture a healthy and agile national population, promote infrastructural development to underpin national development, grow and diversify the economy, and reduce vulnerability of planned activities versus actual deliverables and future proposals for taking the sectors forward. In the 3.5 years that is within the focus of the feedback for MDAs, the new director administration of this government, the president has made meaningful and substantial gains in almost all the critical sectors.
Inside Ion Talk, the president for the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, Ahmed Said Nasrallah, say if the government want democracy for succeed, they need for get independent professional media.
So we want to appeal to the government, to the ministry, to ensure that these institutions work, they are efficient and effective so that they will also help the media. Because for democracy to succeed, we need to have independent professional media. And we all have to work together, not just like government as well, to support initiatives to ensure that our members become very professional and ethical in the conduct of their operation.
Ahmed Said Nasrallah been saying we so call on minister them for make them go they respond to call or text anytime when journalists then get on to them.
So here is when you want to talk to us. Here we have gathered here. But when you want to talk to you, it's somehow very difficult, and that is something we need to address. Mr. Minister, and so other ministers as well. I've heard ministers say sometimes when journalists call them, it is for money and harassment, that sort of thing. Yes, some have said that can be true, but I'm not sure. That is not always the case. Sometimes there are good journalists out there who want to protect stories, and who want to attribute stories, and who want to get goods from the ministers or from those in charge, the MDAs. And responding to that calls or their text messages will do a lot of good for you, but you don't know what the story will be about. Maybe that story will come out to be a promotion for you. Ministry.
Ahmed Said Nasrallah Semuso say 10 to 15 years back, the price for rent and material the way print and electronics media that they use not be the same again. Where that is say, don't they unbogging them work?
10 to 15 years, the rent we pay for our offices about $2,000 to $3,000. During that time, that amounts to about $3,500,000. Now that same $3,000 or $3,500 about $25,000. The material for the print media, things that they use produce the newspapers. The ink 10 to 15 years ago was 20,000. 120,000.
I've been saying so talk to some media practitioner them and civil society people for no waiting and think about this retreat where the Ministry of Information and Communication do. And at this them and gets for saying.
Claude Atero, the manager of Freetown Radio. Well, of course, for bring journalists and here shows them together with online ministries them. That's something very, very good. Because sometimes it's difficult to get them when you need information, when you need the way forward for certain information dissemination. It can be difficult to get them. But when we all come together here, we ask the relevant questions, although they're not giving enough time for ask questions, but at least we get answers to some of the questions. They will be on the rigmarole inside we bring them for time memorial.
Femi Kuka, the president of Women in the Media. You know, say the media, they for educate the public, they for sensitize the public and give out information. With what we don't can get these 2 days now, yeah, I think we get a lot of stories, we get a lot of articles for publish, for broadcast about the government, about the manifesto, waiting need for be done and waiting need for improve on. Then kind it there, we need more time more time for presentation, more time for questions.
Marcus Bangua, Executive Director, Citizens Forum for Democratic Accountability. A fine program because for make you call different shades of people with different opinion, as well as the MDAs, for let them come explain or tell we waiting and don't achieve, because this is a link with the president in manifesto, in other words, in promises. So like me, they cover accountability, and in accountability, they talk about feedback. So this is like a kind of feedback for make government officials and come can't tell we waiting and don't achieve. We don't see a lot of contributions from almost every ministry. Some convincing, others not convincing. So because they see the expression on people, some talk certain things they wouldn't do, whilst others are hanging because we expect more of the achievements. But if you look at this program as it is, it's about the achievement of the president or the achievement of the SLPP New Direction government.
Then media and civil society people here be end up call on the ministry for make them continue for they do this kind program. Outside people then go get for the asking question and same way so nobody tin them where the government done they do. For Radio Democracy, me na Theodora Arena the report.
7:43 at the time from a studio clock, and the program is still listening to now Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As we tell you earlier today at the program, where they can look at the outcome of the retreat where the Ministry of Information and Communication all with the media and civil society member them for go talk about seeing them we been the inside President BOE manifesto we na the SLPP New Direction manifesto we been used campaign in 2018 and how far government don't go for implement the thing them way the inside that particular manifesto there as this is the second retreat where the ministry all with them media and CSO for go talk about their issues here. Well, now the studio we get the Minister of Information as we been introduced earlier when Mohammed Rahman Sware there this morning for cancer listeners waiting and come out there with as a theme for this year retreat now enhancing the media's contribution to good governance and democracy in Sierra Leone. Good morning again and welcome to the program once more, Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Mabel. Thank you.
All right, this is the second retreat we on all for engage the media and civil society organizations them for go talk about waiting governments will implement so far as per the manifesto where President Bio come na power with the New Direction manifesto. And the last year on been all the first one again go update the public as to waiting I don't do so far now, but 3 years down the line under President Bio leadership and I don't get at the media back and civil society organizations them for go tell them waiting the government don't do so far. Start for tell listeners them waiting at the essence why on things say important for bring them people here together every year for getting updates as to waiting government to do before we go into details.
So last year the Ministry of Information conceived the idea of a national media CSO retreat. We've been getting a bowl last year. It's been very, very interesting. Journalists walk up to we say, look, this one wanna do so na the best deal. Because we bring journalists then from every radio station, every media outlet, from every chiefdom, every part of the country. So some then they will can get ready access to information, right? If they then get access to information, some they not to the most correct information or not to the most updated information. So we get this opportunity every year for those journalists there for share government achievements, then the status of governance and government activities, right? So this year we'll bring together over 150 and we'll be able to do the same thing there, yeah? Apart from we deserve your own ends as government, for law provide an opportunity to let journalists they know what's in the happen in the government, for let governments able, let journalists there and civil society practitioners able interact with the key policy and decision makers in the government. Also on the part of the journalists, and so we don't already make our job easy by providing a one-stop center for all kind of information relating to government performance, government deliverables, government achievements. Una say, assist on journalists and say, but you don't say I don't see me man. You don't tell me my man don't see if you get una don't come out college, you man in a community radio there. So that thing they will also provide a great social interaction opportunity, not only between government and CSO, even amongst una fellow practitioners. Yeah, so I think it's a great idea.
Now a great idea. Now we look at the government officials them we been talk during the 10 days so and for most sectors then be represented at this moment.
Yeah, so now that you don't reason, I want to start by thanking my colleague ministers who been candid for Grace's occasion. Because I've been very, very grueling thing. And now I see the context where they ask for more time, right? More time in future. I've been 2 days more time for the retreat. You know, you heard the journalists there, the interviews that we do, they say because of insignificance, we need to increase the time. Would they start like 8:30? Would they go on till 7:30 the next day? This was not a fun fair. This was walk. Even though at the end of the day, we punctuate and very well with a cocktail where everybody like. So in attendance, you can get Dr. Alpha Tijan Wuri, the Minister for Technical and Higher Education. Of course, you can get Dr. Austin Dembi, the Minister for Health and Sanitation. You can get Honorable Timothy Kaba, the Minister for Mines and Mineral Resources. You can get the Deputy Minister of Energy and Power, Dr. Taylor. You can get Dr. Alaji Fode Kela, me Sebi me Deputy Bindidi, Honorable Solomon Jamiru. Of course, the occasion being opened by the Chief Minister, because government stress a lot of importance to open governance, to transparency, to partnership with the media, and to information dissemination. Why na made it one? I mean, very clear. Part of my core mandate as Ministry of Information and Communications now for make sure say I help for bridge the communications gap between citizens and government, and at the same time feedback to government, citizens and sentiments about many things. So this was just part of ensuring that mandate.
All right, so the manifesto we when I go talk about how far governments don't go, so the different ministers and go talk. Waiting they don't do so far. When are the new direction manifesto, they in line with the medium-term national development plan for 2019 to 2023, we get about 7 clusters. And the first one gets for do with human capital development. If we for start span human capital development, now waiting now the thing that we presidents be in leadership. Under leadership don't do so far under human capital development.
Okay, so President Bill get this still we can talk all the time. Say where they ask a typical Saloma, waiting at the most valuable resources they all get, would go on for called diamond, gold, bauxite in world. And rightly so, the motorman are the most valuable resource what this country get. So because of that, a tweak a manifesto for underline the importance of the motorman. So when they talk about human capital development, there are 3 key components. You talk about the health infrastructure, you talk about health, you talk about education, you talk about food security. So you need all lenses in the done together for able realize the potential of a human being, for able contribute to meaningful national development. So now that makes the president, in wisdom, allocate 22% of the national budget for support education, for example, and appreciable budget increments then for the other 2 there, so that we'll be able to achieve the objectives of human capital development.
So talking about health, education, and food security under the issue we get to do with human capital development, how best this administration don't go? For example, we take food security for ensure say sufficient food in the markets and also affordable for people. Currently, Lord, we take the scenario currently. How best you would describe what governments don't do?
So food security, I mean, na situation now, Boku countries then they grapple with, then they face. But this government don't do fairly well for improve the food security situation. I mean, we are not there yet. We realize that, we recognize that fact, but a lot of efforts they go into ensuring say people that able get waiting for it. So in that regard, last year government provided over 400 tractors and various farm equipment there for support farming, because we know say part of the challenge has been we don't continue for farm the same way Adam and Eve been a farm at the start of times in the 21st century. The president said, look, we are never going to be able to feed ourselves if we not do that. Already we spend in excess of $200 million every year for import with staple food, rice alone. So if we continue down there, that is much needed resource where they take from something like social welfare and other services than we go otherwise use them resources and therefore deliver. So now that make the president say, look, law invest in agriculture as part of deliberate effort for diversify the economy. You find out, say, where country they, you able to feed yourself, what a man say you able to feed yourself, now other people then they get your agenda, right? Small thing happen to them, now you fill up. So this is the current state of what not happen to a country. Then country, they know where they get all the import food from, for example, where they're not in long lockdowns, they're not able to produce. If they produce, when I go for shipper now, when I get a shipping line, freight costs then they increase around the world, so it don't make it difficult. So the president want for reduce vulnerability to then shock and this. So last year, we bring in about 400 tractors to farmers, and what to make it interesting and different from other one there, these were not political tractors, right? Because I remember a couple of years ago at the past two Fube College, tractor been packed there, when one lecturer will be in a government, and I mean get and hand close them para. This time we don't get a policy shift, major policy shift, we don't bring in the private sector, now then they manage the tractor here, and for the tractor there, and all other farm inputs through machine rings and the e-voucher system. So you find out, say they go very well. You, where sit down there also, if you need a farm in a Bombali district, for example, you're able to get access to that tractor through an e-voucher system and all of that.
So also effects you don't get, overall effects you don't get in terms of going to the market.
Not the council,
salon rest.
Not the camp, small. Yeah. So you see the other one again, the Rumbi Swamp. The Rumbi Agriculture and Rice Valley Chain Project, we don't launch it in full swing in Apoloko, right? So you find out, say, to your question now, you ask what's not the effect. Where would they travel around the country? And social media reports, don't they tell we say, this year we'll get a bumper harvest. Unfortunately, since this will be the first major year of investment, deliberate investment, targeted investment for boost yield and productivity, we don't get boku farming. I just want to see social media. Say, man, they call, hey, we need combined harvester. Then rest year, we not able quarter. This, that. So one of the interesting things about that is Sierra Leoneans and the head president in Clarion call for a lot of farm, from government ministers to heads of departments to citizens there. So already I am reliably informed by the end of the month we get landed now about 50 combined harvesters for fulfill that demand. So the first challenge was one for boost and bolster production. We are getting there now. We're having a bumper harvest this year. I mean, this you don't need no study, nobody for tell you that. Where they pass across the country and the social media feedback there.
So my colleague they ask basically whose impact it don't get on the food availability na the market and for reduce the angry na the country.
I don't hear read that one. Now one count. I just a build up. Yeah. So first now we know say we don't get a bumper harvest. Then go for harvest and first, right? Probably Milan, packager before you get to various markets there. So it's still work in progress. Hunger not disappear now this year simply because our government don't invest or they try for increased productivity, So where Chief Minister when they talk to the media, for example, he jokingly tell and say, look, ain't really want to support the media for letting themselves go into farming,
So being in that instance of supporting the media for going to farming, let me take that aside, but come back to the cabinet ministers. There was a time where the presidents we don't ask one of the cabinet ministers for ensure say on all get farm. Waiting don't be the outputs for.
So let's start with myself. I'm a farmer. I get big farm, but I'm very private to a company in the day. I'm very private for the last 2 years. At the it at grow and at grow it at it. This weekend at the commission a milling machine na my community. So not only for milling million rest, for also benefit the community. If you talk to the chief minister, for example, he get a big farm. The minister of foreign affairs get a big farm. The financial secretary, the president, he gets over 1,000 acres of rice farm and various other ones, I'm told. So would they lead by example? We want to make farming dignified.
So how long have I done into this? How long have I done into this farming we talk about?
But me also for the last 2 years at the feed at the
so just you and your family not enough because the president talk and for like food flood in the market.
Well, so una say for join me now. Me family not enough.
So outside the products and wanna be done they do the produce them. Outside una can carry them go.
No. So allow take baby steps to understand this. Okay, let's say for the sake of argument, say we say na minimum the total grow me family, which is not even true because they do on community food for work and other issues there. Right? So the whole community benefits. So you imagine if we not every other person do you're not farming for His Excellency President Bio for government, or you farm, the vulnerabilities that we get in situations like this, they reduce. And I'm very, very, very pleased that boku people they want to know they into farming, whether government officials, non-government officials. Even the communities now feel inspired for farming.
In your opening, you say Salone still lay in that farming we below the farm from Adam and Eve. So how you expect everybody for going to farming in that kind of method?
Okay, so I think so you don't get the context slightly wrong. I said until their interventions. Yeah.
Whose community?
Whose community name?
Now Foindu, I'm a village.
All right, continue.
Well, any kind of acreage I want. Yeah? And the people are happy. They don't say, oh, harvest in the end. It's not going to be me alone. Now when?
All right, continue for David Twin at the studio. Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Suare. There this morning they give you updates about the outcome of the tweets where they begin with the media and civil society for talkpots, President BRENDA'S manifesto promise them and how far they don't go for implement them. The program Good Morning Salone, they continue. Send a message to the number 077-981-981 or gonna Radio Democracy Facebook page. 8 a.m. from a studio clock we take commercial break and look at more issues.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody elect you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office elect you not get the account number. Buy Ed Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering God.
The program is still listening to a Good Morning Salone where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We where they bring you this edition of the program Good Morning Salone. Musa Kamara Naminim.
And Mabel Kaba.
We still get the Minister of Information and Communication there for talk about the retreat we just end Nabo. We said they meet with journalists and civil society for talk about President BRENDA'S manifesto and how far they don't go for implement them. The program Good Morning Salone they continue for look at more issues. After where the Public Accounts Committee in a Parliament get information say some agencies them they implement projects on behalf of the Freetown City Council where audit service Salone able audit inside 2019 make the chairman for the Public Accounts Committee in a Parliament Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas say the committee don't begin question the Mayor Yvonne Akisoya in Wokman them inside the next adjourned date after where the Mayor be hand over some documents them to the committee. For more on this, make we join Usman Kamara.
According to the country in law, it give power to the Public Accounts Committee in a Parliament for look inside them where the Auditor General's report where audit service Salone can pull every year. You where they use social media, you go notice say rumor in the go round where allege say the Freetown City Council give contract to some agency them for implement where audit service Salone no me able get document for. Their allegation here been drawn the attention of Parliament and this will make the Public Accounts Committee been summoned the Freetown City Council.
We have been informed as a committee, and we do verily believe, because we rely on the information provided to us by the Auditor General's report, that begs for resolution. We don't know whether it's true, or we don't know whether it's not true. All what we need are the relevant documents and responses to inform our report. Let me draw your attention to what the Auditor General said in her report. She said in her report that there were projects implemented by other agencies on behalf of the council. But these agencies could not be audited. Why? Because of the lack of information on them at the time of the audit exercise. Because the relevant information relating to this project was lacking.
That's the voice of the chairman for the Public Accounts Committee in a Parliament, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas, be the informed council workman them, but waiting the Auditor General report say during the term where they sit down before this committee. Chairman, Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas, carry on for talk about the documents them where the committee want for see concerning the project where Auditor General say some agency they may implement on behalf of council where they're not able audits.
This committee wants the list of all the relevant projects referred to by the Auditor General's report. 2, we want to know the agencies concerned with the implementation of those projects. 3, we want to know the funds that were used. 4, we want to know the funding agencies. And finally, we want to have documents relating to the relevant council resolutions, if there are any council resolutions at all relating to those projects or the implementation of those projects, and any other information that we think we should see. We are not concerned about politics here. Politics is the least of our worry. All we are seeking to do is to be seen doing our job and have fair idea on all the issues. Finally, then the location of the projects.
You for bring all relevant documents inside the next adjourned date, and the committee will look inside them and ask questions. That na some of the word of the chairman for the Public Accounts Committee. But as soon as the chairman, Honorable Sengepo Solomon Thomas, they put down a mic, waiting next we see and yeri na usai the mayor for the Freetown City Council, our worship Ivona Kisoya, and over documents them where the committee say a one for see inside the next adjourned dates.
We actually have here the information that you're requesting. So let me also say what they are. So here is a list of all the projects implemented in 2019. It includes, so for your information, we have a comprehensive spreadsheet which has all the projects, the 49 projects which were referenced, 49 projects undertaken by FCC in 2019, of which 31 were complete. So you'll see the headings are name of project, then type of project, then you have the funding window, which is what you just referred to. Was it FCC own source or a donor? If it was a donor, it names the donor. So we have donor UNICEF, donor Make It Happen, donor Avenue Capital Hedge Fund owner, etc. So all of the donors are provided.
Ivona Kisoya being continue for show different documents them to the Public Accounts Committee, and this committee will start for question the mayor and Freetown City Council will command them inside the next adjourned date, when are 2 weeks from now. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Usman Kamara, the reports.
The program is still listening to a Good Morning Saloon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We still get the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Soare, where they inside the program for talk about government manifesto promise out of the retreat we then do Nabo with journalists and civil society them. Before we go for that break, we'll be there on agriculture. Still for conclude on agriculture, before me now we get the State of Food Security Sierra Leone 2020 Comprehensive Food Security and Vulnerability Analysis from the World Food Programme on Salone, where the data they show say as of June, that time they say 4.7 million people still food insufficient, overweight, 900,000 are severely food insecure, and over 3,700,000 are moderately food insecure. Where then statistics that they show say access to food still not challenge. With all then interventions then we don't mention, why you think say still something like this they happen?
Okay, so the interventions now we talk, food production of this country. It's still seasonal, right? You talk about June. Now people then they do harvest there, right? So that data day, if you put on to test right now, a whole lot of things don't change, But be that as it may, about availability of food, we don't get increased food production and productivity in a place like Tomabom in the Bom Chiefdom and Mambolo in the Samu Chiefdom, yeah. Because we get 4 agricultural companies and they do various interventions there. So if they travel on the road from Bo, for example, to Freetown, you reach Bokuside and a nearest city in the cell. Affordable if you walk a little if you walk a little hard, you're able to buy them available in the market. Yes, to a point that it overwhelms the market. Now that side they will not reach it, but available for buy then the Ministry of Agriculture and then presentation, then really go with the food rice balance sheet for the country. Right? Now very interesting. You never know say rice self now like money, they get balance sheet. Yeah? There is a rice balance sheet we not put we in grave danger, but we tell we say we need to work a little harder for get out of harm's way.
If you they give the statistics for food availability, because WFP they say over 4.7 million people are food insecure. From that end, if you they give statistics, what do you think say the rates they as it is now?
No,
because
you
don't they improve?
No. I think say we will not get any arguments over what's in the happen. Me don't say like we all sabi. Now then they culture yesterday, and now then they do harvest today, right? Until imbibe the concept for the do, several plants, for plants all year round. Particular point of the year they will forget that kind of situation. Now the harvest season, that statistics they not go stand again, right? And then present them food balance sheet to we, the Ministry of Agriculture. We not to the normal they don't do. Then they do out international partners, ECOWAS people, they already come in with WFP and others. They already in the same ecosystem, right? It presents Salon as not food secure, but not in grave danger. They just point Moyamba say Moyamba gets a lot of red flag issues. So government they pay attention and now, right?
So apart from Moyamba, apart from the district level, so nationally, we look at the broader picture. Now, waiting different governments don't they do inside the past 3 years in terms of making food really available for people and not only for let it day, but let them able for provide the money where it is at the cost.
Let government provide the money, let people buy food.
For the people them, let it at a price where the people able for provide.
No. So there is a lot of wisdom. And the president in Clarion call say, Lord, embrace agriculture. There's a lot of wisdom where we get a policy shift, right, for bring the private sector into farming, so that the politicization will end. So now the kind of situation this, the situation not go for change overnight. We go for embrace farming, because now people and they were in Thailand, for example, or na China, we don't get COVID, then quarantine all man, the people and the farmers, then so they die. Right? So they said they yield, they reduce, they affect their productivity. Their production and productivity, they affect her. And now add on top of that freight. The Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Trade when they talk, said trade, for example, one container where they bring now 20-feet container where they pay $20 for. Now if one bring the same 20-feet container now, that's something like $50 or $70 they pay.
So as you say, we wait and see after this harvest. After this harvest, you want to tell salon people and say, rest, for example, enough go in at the markets we talk about rest where we the grown at salon compared to the imported.
I'm not going for make that kind of assurance. I just say we are making progress. This progress is not to a silver bullet where they solve all the problems together. It's not kum fire kum. Let there be light and there is light. Yeah? Let we all get for collectively work towards them. Because we have remained food secure for the longest time.
Promise for bring light. The manifesto been promised for bring come that change day.
Yeah.
Where the people be they ask for long for.
Yeah, well now they bring. This is during the lifetime of this first term presidency of the president. So you see the real efforts there. Go launch Tomabo, you see various communities, they bring their rice, a bag, a package. Yeah, they even give some journalists that open go. Yeah.
Okay. Away from the agriculture or food availability, plenty ministries, departments, and agencies do presentation, and you don't talk about what in agriculture presents. Now we look at one key sector in the public, when at transportation. What in the Ministry of Transport and Aviation presents as part of the new manifesto promise fulfillment, because then one of the clusters, then we did under infrastructure, we said then categorize them with energy. But let's look at transport first of all.
So the Ministry of Transport, there were clear manifesto commitments there, right? One of the things in the introduce a vehicle loan scheme to public officials there, so that we be identified down there as one of the biggest sources of leakage in the public service. Vehicle maintenance, vehicle repairs, and all the associated in there, right? So we've been saying, coming, we will introduce a vehicle loan scheme and a fleet management system. This now, we don't roll out part of Rande already. Yes, the vehicle loan scheme, they don't roll out. The fleet management policy has been rolled out. And every month now, government is saved in excess of $250 million, 50 million loans. 250 million loans every month in our savings. We've been spending a lot of money on this car repair, maintenance, this, that. But now we don't change that narrative. There is a vehicle loan scheme which is being scaled down,
Somebody go say this now a good move, okay, for the public servants them. But looking at the ordinary people,
I just begin talking. At the first thing now, to talk about the candy. The other bits will don't happen. They not introduce a biometric driver's license, now the SLRA SA. You know what's in the mean? It don't make her more secure. It don't make her more dignified. It don't make her compatible with the rest of what's in the happen at ECOWAS. Because not to local champions league today. We're a part of a bigger global community of nations. So we don't do that one day. And there is now uniformity and harmony across EASO. When I know say construction work to go on for a new airport, this is now under the Ministry of Transport, now Lunge, that's happening. And the old airport be now old. The turning loops, them get problem. And a lot of things, even the terminal building is more, particularly for peak period, for prepare we for mass tourist arrivals there. So that is happening now. It's ongoing. It's there for all to see. Then there's the Sierra Leone Integrated Rural Mobility, Urban Resilient Mobility Project. That project is the underarm. Then they do overpasses then around here, so in a strategic place then for ease movement of people then. Then also they bring in traffic lights then, a couple of some traffic lights, yeah. Then on top of that, then they bring in public transportation.
It's 3 years.
Public transportation, yeah.
It's
We have
3
not
years.
we have not been talking about it 3 years. We only started talking about this last year. And what they do,
we look at the ministry itself in the last 3 years.
Yeah, but the context
in the implementation.
Well,
of
they brought in
promise.
50 buses where they give schools there, and those buses are still in good health. They don't ease transportation and the body with parents and the people because it's subsidized across the country. That's happening already. This one what they talk about now public transport for me and you.
Apart from the 50
yes,
bus,
there are delays
what they point at
because
they don't complete.
There are delays because anytime when a development partner finance, you get processes, the procurement process, the bureaucracy, all of that. But I'm pleased to note that we don't navigate through that one day, and before long, them bosses and they go Canada or we go commission or go call one back.
They ask 3 years down the lines. When you look at public transport, it deteriorates, and the challenges where people get in transportation, it's very serious. And
we said they feel the challenges. We know the challenges. We now government with the travel. Now the same time with the not to Mars with the or Jupiter. Now when them people where they live with the feel the challenges. With the
Mr. Minister, can you use public transport? They use public transport
right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
From which side? When and
I just want to see now internal.
What in be experience using public transport?
Now Okada take. Now before Kana on a studio na Yagbe because I've been on late almost.
I mean,
you don't see the picture they go around on social media.
Now we look at putting yourself into a situation of people where they travel every now and then for canton and from town for go do them daily activities. Them
it's tough for them. Government they feel and say they have had to go through these challenges. Now they make us say. Practical steps have been taken for increase and improve on the public transportation system. The president said when they travel, they see people that map, they not get motor car, they go through that difficult time. He feels it because he's a very, very compassionate person. A person they feel for him people there. Now they make their interventions here. Apart from the 50 World Bank they do, and another set of bosses then they which are where discussions they with the Ministry of Transport for. I would just say, Lord continue for be patient. It will happen.
When?
Soon.
So not any exact same way like the people go really above say this will happen because if it not happen after 3 years, then you still say soon.
But
if na negotiations sooner day with the partners, them as you say the challenge they because you get for do with partnership. But during the discussions, at least sooner for don't get a timeline for so we they look at this time to this time for provide with people them their bosses.
Probably I can facilitate let somebody from the Ministry of Transport can have on this here. I'm not gonna give you a hard and fast timeline now. Government information for remain credible. I know I'm for tell nothing way. So
Nemeka be earlier ask you, apart from the 50 bus them we the Minister of Transport come with inside the last 3 years, whose projects did they point at say?
The Minister of Transport they're on the ferry project right now. Then they expect some ferries and for coming. So watch that space. They go there before Christmas. I'm reliably informed by the Minister of Transport. Honorable Cabinet Kalon.
Somebody now with text line they say biometric licenses are not available since they launched. The old versions are still being issued.
Well, that's not what I know. The president was issued a new biometric driver's license. So I'm sure any other person who don't go there after the launch go able get access. I stand to be corrected, but that's what I know.
We will come back to you, Mohamed Rahman Sware. The time from the studio clock now 8:90. Let me take commercial break and look at more issues.
Because money easy for loss, like how it easy for broke egg. You save not for life you couple business, so people they will not sabi, and one day we get ben. Union Trust Bank get all the correct and master sabi people them for help make you couple better. We na Union Trust Bank team up tiganga, so your money go fine with no wahala, and you no go get we kind service no other side. Make good use of we SMS alert where they show you your money transaction. Enjoy we internet banking services for check your accounts. Safe, you can visit we website on www.utb.sl for no more, but we order plenty products and service them. Now Union Trust Bank, excellence now it's on card. Union Trust Bank, the force and true Salomon Bank.
8:20 at the time from the studio clock. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We take one power headlines to read them. Usai, we go to Parliament. Usai, one panel members of Parliament them. When Honorable Leone Mara, they call on government for investigate the Ministry of Finance and Debt Department, because according to them, it say that particular department they get alleged corruption issues them where they happen there. We talked this last week. Now, the 2022 budget debate, two members of Parliament then continue for do. For more on this, let we join Usman Kamara.
Friday, November 26, 2021. Now, the last date, we member of Parliament them done for look inside the year 2022 budget, where the Ministry of Finance will go in a Parliament. Inside this debate, different members of Parliament them will continue for talk about the difference in them when they think about this budget. We immediately talk about the debt where the country gets. The chairman for Water Resources Committee in Parliament, Honorable Leone Mara, say government need for investigate the Ministry of Finance because plenty corruption is said to happen inside the debt where the country gets.
Mr. Speaker, we need to investigate debt. It is very much serious and important. There is huge corruption hiding under debt. Mr. Speaker, let me just refer you to paragraph 30 of this budget. It is stated there to finance the deficit, 876 billion of foreign loans should be used. But you know what? In that very year, we are going to make a repayment of 611 billion. What does that mean? That we are only using 256 billion to finance the budget. Mr. Speaker, that repayment of 611 billion was without what? Interest payment. Adding interest to that, it means all what we are taking as loan, we are paying them back. We need to investigate the Ministry of Finance. Mr. Speaker, again, out of reports on the general purpose financial statements and the total debtors, Mr. Speaker, 149 billion was missing.
Honorable Leone Mara, chairman for Water Resources Committee in Parliament, carry on say Parliament not gets the capacity for investigate the ministry because plenty of the people them where they head some of the committee them na SLPP member them.
May I call on Parliament? I will say no, we don't have the capacity. Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the Finance Committee is SLPP. The chairman of the Transparency Committee is SLPP. Yes. And you, Mr. Chief Speaker, you are the chairman for the Public Account Committee. We know who you are. We don't have the capacity to investigate the Ministry of Finance. What about the anti-corruption? The boss is from Leone. And presently, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Speaker, is the regional chairman for the Eastern region for the SLPP.
We immediately respond to Honorable Leone Mara, the Deputy Leader of Government Business, Honorable Bashiru Siliki, and Dixon Rogers, Chief Whip, say not to the first time this criteria they happen, and say APC self don't do the same thing during the time with them in the rule, and self now remember them, may they add some of them committee.
The Chief Whip of APC then was the chairman for Transparency and Accountability. That is what it has been. So I want the public to know. Let Honorable Mara portray to the nation as if it is us SLPP that introduced the new thing. It is not. That is the same thing used to do, and it's the same thing the general change.
We have regional officers and district officers of the who were ministers and deputy ministers. But we did not treat them as politicians. We treat them in their official capacity. So I don't want you to politicize the position they hold in their political.
Honorable Honorable Francis Abendu, na member of parliament for constituency 027 at Kono District. Inside in statement, he say, there as Kono people appreciate where the president don't go turn dirty for build the Kono University, but say where he camp electricity. Kono na the darkest district na Salone.
Kono, we are very much happy about the university, and recently the president was in Kono to turn the sword. MPs were part of it. We appreciate it, and we pray that the process will be fast-tracked for the benefit of our people. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the energy sector. We all saw the effort and progress made so far in the energy sector by His Excellency the President, by the Minister, so on and so forth. The Minister will provide the machines, they will provide the electrifications, facilities within communities, so on and so forth. But there is nobody to monitor whether the facilities provided in those communities are enjoyed by the people. An example of that is Kono District, that happens to be the darkest city in Sierra Leone for now. We only enjoy electricity when we have high-profile government officials visiting Kono District.
Good. Now one, we member of parliament them raise concern board, who side and say, up till now, this government not able to finish the balance road them where the past governments be don't start. And this will be the answer where the deputy leader of government business, Honorable Bashiru Siliki, Bingi.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I believe and strongly believe that government is continuity. The good things you started will continue, and the things you did that are not right definitely will have to readjust. The Toke-Lumley Road, Mr. Speaker, before His Excellency, the late President, was handing over power, we have constructed the Waterloo-Toke Road, and the second phase was to construct the Lumley-Toke. Until now, Mr. Speaker, we're struggling with that road. We inherited that road at Bobo 11 years after the MEX funding. This is just to tell you, roads you inherited funding for, you diverted those fundings to other proposals, Mr. Speaker. I heard the leader of the opposition saying, they constructed the township roads. I agree, Mr. Speaker, honorable member. What you did it just to gain political favors.
After all the contribution and recommendation them by member of parliament, the deputy minister of finance, Sheikh Ahmed Fantamadi Bangura, end up say the ministry will take all the recommendation them serious. We go help them inside and work. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Usman Kamara. The reports.
The program na Good Morning Salon where they come to you from 98.1 FM. We still got the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Rahman Soare. Before we go for that break, we've been to talk about the transport sector and the achievement of the new direction manifesto in that regard. As they talk about the retreat we just happened at Bowusai, government engaged with civil society and journalists them on government's achievables them. We've been still there on transportation. Now we look at, you mentioned about ferry system, and then they about for come with ferries them. But somebody where they travel between Lungi and back, then can tell you the challenge within the phase now for ferry. How soon people will see this ferry system and the privatization of the ferry system as mentioned by the Minister of Transport?
I literally grew up I spent a greater part of my adult life in Lungi at the cross and come back that ferry day. I know it's a very, very struggling experience, not to today. But because we in a government who want to resolve that problem, I get intimate information, say, set of ferries then go there this month before around Christmas. Now the minister and desire that. Let man see that one, let them fill up.
Before the end of December?
Yes. That one the concrete. Minister always sit down there and for engage this morning. Somebody there will get, various kind of boats there where one can talk to government for. He reached out to me yesterday. Saturday, I'm busy, I'm not pick. Yesterday, he called me back and he want to do this before the end of the year. So at the engagement, colleague, the Honorable Minister of Transport.
Somebody go say boat is private and it costly for ordinary person.
No. They talk about the ferry.
The ferry is not the one, and you say then they come. Is it the private zone or the one na Kisi or the one na government? Which one would they talk about now? And Amos ferry they get for come?
Well, I know so then they negotiate a couple of them and it will address the all-round needs of commuters there, members of the public who they commute from here to Lungi and back.
Negotiating at the moment?
No. I know some negotiations done. The team them in on day now. I talked to the minister last week. Now that's it tell me. I know so this government here get huge commitment for resolve that problem there.
So with the discussions where you get with the Minister of Transport as the Minister of Information, now as Minister of Information and Communication, how government reached to the agreement for handover the Kisi government WAF and Green Terminal them to a Turkish company for operate for an agreement when are going to for 25 years.
So now you are aware of some of the things and now you don't just raise so.
How on each other agreement say una for handover that?
Okay, so agreements
for 25 years.
We know how long that place don't lay down, been disused and all of that, right? So let's get the context first. This is not like thing who they run, been lay, the nothing not happen, they deteriorate every day. So now, because we want to do that investment in the transport sector, right? And we need to do the necessary preparations for that. How do you get into contracting? Where you begin, when at the negotiations, you bring in a cabinet, from cabinet, you go parliament.
So now the reason that we make a ask, how we reach to that conclusion, the way we know ever is a such agreements go parliament?
Well, so not all agreements go parliament, public interest agreements and they, right? Public interest issues and
the
public interest one and they, for example, when they do libel, whether they do death penalty, if they move up from clerk and officer to the other office, now news. And they go
so
agreements and they go they not public interest. So
cabinet,
media not change that.
Cabinet.
Yes, of course. Of course. Once before you sign, they go to Attorney General's office first, and they go give legal opinion. After the legal opinions are taken on board, you bring in a cabinet, we'll discuss them. If there are any issues, we'll talk about them, we'll include them. After that, you go parliament for approval. Now, only after that you go sign an agreement.
So 25 years for cabinets. How una wait una look at for una agree say una want for give that Kisi terminal day and the government WAF agreeing to a private company, when a Turkish company for operating for 25 years.
Okay, so let's understand this. In the way na capital intensive projects them, right? So the person get for recoup in capital, of course they want forget markup, right? So you find out say mining companies, for example, not to do less than 25 years, we been get the onerous task, we been get into a 99-year mining lease, all of that in the I mean, so not so today this one begin, and not so because it happened yesterday, it happened today. Depending on the nature of the investment,
so that make
if
us
it require
huge
huge capital, now they talk. It require huge capital investment. You get for give the investor set time for let recoup in expenses and make some profit. Because when they go back and not care the thing and go now they left and get anyway.
All right, continue for the between at the studio. Let me take commercial break. That's the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Rahman Sware. There this morning they give you an update on what's so far in terms of implementing the manifesto promised them na the new direction. We take commercial break and look at more issues.
Una picking for discharge today, but una not pay the money yet.
Doctor, give me your number. I don't send them.
Alex, I don't give you the number for send hour in fees.
I don't send them.
How much the big bag rest?
Na 320,000.
I not get the full cash now.
Na for send them.
Send them? What in the send them where all man they talk about?
You late for your Rio Mary. Send them now go call the Ecopo service. This one fast pass with simple. With the Ecopo, you go send and receive money to anybody, any sign a salon, simple one. The person no need forget bank account or internet. Even if na bought phone you get, they go receive and cash money, easy one. With the Ecopo, you go buy something, any sign a salon, and the person will go buy, go cash them simple one. You go use Ecopo, any side where you see this sticker. With the go call bank, mobile banking, just don't easy. Ecopo, send them.
GhanaSongs.org.
They causing confusion. But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in World Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement now the highest grade cements at the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. you go get Dangote 42.5 cement. Now all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
The program na Good Morning Saloon with the Council from 98.1 FM. Inside the program, we continue to look at more issues. The Director of Culture and the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs for the Jalo say some Iranian them don't train but 65 saloon people them na the creative industry way na fine arts, visual arts and handcraft we go give skill to saloon people them. It talk this way the way some Iranian them and creative industry training with some saloon people them for improve their skill. It talk more to Mangi Masari inside this interview.
The Iranians, them are experts in handicraft, local and in the creative industry. All we think about fine art, visual art, handicraft, sculpture, cooperate with the Iranian embassy in Sierra Leone for bring them for expatriates and they will expert trainers. Can train pool of expert again in Sierra Leone, equip them with additional knowledge so that we'll be able to get that pool day to serve as local trainers going forward. Not every time we'll get the opportunity for bringing international people there for train with local people there. But if we don't get a pool of about 65 people who don't can train now, we will draw from each and every district and all the regions in Sierra Leone. Then we can serve now trainers for we, so that going forward, the other people that will be in the industry, one day will draw interest in the industry, for make sure say we get people there for continue for train them.
So what are the specific training where they get to there?
Everything within the creative industry. We are the cultural directorate to do the creative and cultural industries. But the creative industry, like I said, comprises of fine art, visual arts, arts and crafts, handicraft, sculpture, monumental masonry, printing, and the like. So they get training by all of those aspects, and they will divide them into 3 groups, and each tutor will add one group, make sure say it teach at least 4 or 5 different kind of crafts to them, including puppetry and the like.
You say they do them in a different part of the country. So how they want them they go cascade the training where they don't get to other people who themselves in the creative industry?
First of all, most of them who do also now people that way don't do a maximum a decade plus as professional in the field. 1, 2, majority of them own their own institutions where they already trained the kingdom, man as well as woman, when they produce. And then in that regard, it tells you that putting in the land and going back and forth. Now they own institutions beside Peking and they go for gold land. But additionally, as a government represented by the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs through the Cultural Affairs Directorate, government self can provide small resources as they do for this training for make sure say we go to organize them kind of training going forward. So minus the fact say then we'll get people that know they can land to them, we'll go pay to them and develop. We serve them for the organized own programs that we will provide resources, and together we will select people that will continue.
So what are the monitoring mechanisms that will be put in place?
The number 1 monitoring mechanism now Kuna also done before me, so that is one. All of these culminate, even though the initiative did not come, but it end up because of the simple fact that we've been done UNESCO sponsor a program we will do what we call a needs assessment tour. The needs assessment tour will be a random sampling survey we will do now all the regions on a specific district. Out of the recommendations that we will get, one panel have been lack of adequate training, lack of resources, lack of personnel within the sector. We need for address them. We'll do it in March. Secondly, we self don't undertake a research. We will already conclude 9 districts. We await funding so that we're able to complete all the 16 districts. We will put what we call the cultural guide and handbook for Sierra Leone, with all of them 3 are inclusive. So based on that, we don't sabi the people there. We don't know most of them. We get them data there. The one that we register with we as institution, the one that we register as individuals, and the one that we go on the field, we not even know, we not get access for car. So make sure say all them data then they will get. Now we look, we send forms to people them, about 250 forms to apply, and out of them we will for select the 65 we will select so based on what you answer, now you take qualify for them come for this training.
Now, so now you cost or now the Iranian they cost?
At a shared cost. between us, the union, and the philanthropists who help we in Pajawad. We get Family Kingdom Hotel, we help with accommodation for the expats there, help with food for the expat there, and they help with base following for conduct the training. The unions buy the tickets, and then we provide all the other necessary logistics, including food for all the participants and transportation.
So waiting na the partnership we can create with the museum because they can.
In the first instance, they decide to come visit the museum. They are a mobile museum. The one can see what you will get. The one can feel more of the Sierra Leone culture in addition to what we already make them know, they don't see and know over the past 12 days. And then secondly, they can make a donation to the museum. And then thirdly, they want to twin up what they already do in principle. Twin up their own museum with your museum, and they want to see how best and we will go back or foster the cultural cooperation what happen. So when they don't train, see how best we self go to Iran and go impact themselves, train themselves. Already they will identify one person who has also go up to 3% out of the people that wouldn't train so right now, wouldn't go facilitate for let go Iran for go teach the Iranian, put in a non-kala. You know the learning process is ongoing, but they not sabi all things. Now what's in there sabi, na in sabi. People and they are sabi things the way themselves not sabi. The way them sabi something people are not sabi. Indeed, the world not for them at run. Thanks be to God. And Minister don't come. So likely between 1 and 3 people from this set will go for go Iran for go train the young people there. And then we step forward in the sector here, go for promote and go teach them the culture and see how best we get for it.
Director of Culture, na the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. For the Jalo, they talk to Mange Mansare for sake of the Sabi Wedengi to some 65 salon people on tourism, especially creative arts. The program na Good Morning Salon we come to you from 98.1 FM and on the internet on the
fiber cable na 4G that been strengthened in many instances there. Boku thing and they will not be there. So the law being limited. We don't do a comprehensive review. They don't gazette. We wait for the 21 days for begin presentation at Parliament. That is work in progress. It's in advanced stages. We come under, the president, digital president, the one for left behind a digitally inclusive Sierra Leone. So in first FOCAC meeting in 2019, China, I've been talked to in counterpart President Xi Jinping for support in digital transformation agenda. They'll be able to get a concessionary loan of $30 million for allow able to take fiber to the remaining districts of the country and deliver services. 10 districts and they include Koinadugu, 90% complete. And another only lay the fiber there, then they connect some schools then they connect the district council there, right? We then come out back, the same thing they happen at Pujao, the same thing they happen at Falaba, not Falaba, the same thing they happen at Kailang, and the same thing they happen at Moyamba. So the 5 remaining districts, fiber don't land there, they don't do the trenching, they don't do the backfilling, then they install the equipment there now. Now the regional headquarter towns of Makeni, of Poloko, of Kenema, and Bo, then they do metro rings then they, access points then will go make it easy for take fiber even to your home for enjoy high integrity connectivity.
So you mean
apart from
satisfied with the current status of the communication angle where you talk about the mobile networks here?
The day I get satisfied, I leave government. It's still work in progress, but we are making phenomenal progress. The other bits I want to talk about, now the facts say, when we take over, when President Bill take over in 2018, the World Bank in relationship with my ministry, we don't go bad over the way they may manage the fiber, cable, and the terrestrial backbone, right? Because of the progress we don't make, we don't engage in strategic dialogue in the last 2 years or so. Now, I'm pleased for tell Fambul and say the World Bank not ready for support the Ministry of Information for how we take the president in digital agenda to another level with $50 million. Right now, we're at project preparatory stage. So this is very good. I mean, I vote of confidence in His Excellency in leadership and in stewardship particularly. This is going to benefit areas like rural connectivity, bringing them into the mix, right? Delivery of e-government services. People that they sit on Kailan, for example, or Koinadugu, you want a passport, you get for Kawaka, Kana Air Force, all things, and they want to see how we address their issues, and there are many more. Once we don't get the full project in full scope, I'll consider on here and share our family. But all that thing that the ministry don't do. But
okay.
If we want, we can continue. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you again I'm not going to mention the repeal of the criminal libel at all. That one day, we don't talk about that. But for the celebrators, see by mention.
Would they come to you back,
to
Mr.
you.
Minister?
Okay.
Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Swari. Continue for the between the program Good Morning Salon.
The program they continue and we go on the phone now as people know about the weekend. The Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP, the whole election for the women swing aside them for being get the leadership. But at the end of the day, we've been see the party also pull a notice for saying cancel the whole election process. Well, for let people know waiting at the issue we make the Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP cancel the election over the weekend for get the women's wing leader. We get on the line the National Publicity Secretary for the SLPP, we na Lahai Lawrence Lima. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the program, Lima.
Hello?
Yes, good morning, sir. All right, the program Good Morning Salon, they continue with it. Can't forget Lahai Lawrence Lima na the line for get an update on waiting happen where the Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP cancel the election where them been get over the weekend na Kailaun for them women's swing. Well, we get Lahai Lawrence Lima on the line. Good morning and welcome to the program. We try for connect Lahai Lawrence Lima for give you updates as to what make the party being cancelled the election results for Sika the women's swing leader election where them be all over the weekend. Also, different people will contest that position day, but at the end of the day, the party said and cancel. We don't see so many pictures and allegations and counter allegations as to what happened there, but we want for hearing from the party executive as to waiting them fair not we make them total fit for cancel the whole election and waiting at the next step after that cancellation day. We want to get that information day. We did still try to forget Lahai Lawrence Lima. We take short commercial break and come back.
Hey, this blow me mind, Bobs. You don't hear about EcoBank, the new service to the customer them. That's not the EcoBank Express Point. When I'm going for make it easy for me and you. We don't want to go with Stemna Bank. Now that make EcoBank Express Point the plenty side near you area like a pharmacy, shop, supermarket, and even na microfinance or any side where you see the Express Point sign. On top that, EcoBank Express Point they give you the service where you bank they give you even where the bank don't lock. Like you go put money, pull money, open express account, pay your bill, buy airtime, receive money through Western Union, and send and receive money through Rapid Transfer. When an EcoBank their own money transfer service, where they operate at 33 African countries them, also EcoBank Day, and you don't need for carry any foreign currency. EcoBank care about you. You just go to any side where the agent and the Express Point sign day today for easy banking, easy access, no yagba.
EcoBank.
When you buy and service your Toyota vehicle to the right people them, you know they get one ADAT. And that's na Sika Motors Sierra Leone Limited, na 21 Bible Road Kisi Freetong. Sika Motors na the only authorized distributor for Toyota vehicle and genuine Toyota spare parts them na the country for Toyota Motors Corporation of Japan. Them vehicle and design for meet the weather condition of this country. Them make them vehicle then specially for meet the utility, commercial, private, and executive vehicular need. You go get 3 year or 100,000 kilometer warranty. In on top though, you go get license and registration with free regular service up to 15,000 kilometer for any Toyota vehicle where you buy from Sika Motors. With the state-of-the-art workshop, we get modern diagnostic machine them, together with trained technician them, go give you vehicle the service precision where it need, where that go give you the collage where you deserve. For no more about Sika Motors Sierra Leone Limited, go na number 21 Bible Road Kisi Freetong. Telephone 088 012 350 and 088 012 355. Sika Motors Sierra Leone Limited, the party where you for believe, forget original and quality Toyota vehicle and spare parts them.
All right, the program Good Morning Salon they continue. We don't get Lahai Lawrence Lima.
From the National
body, and with the hope say after we elect the leaders, and we co-opt them into the national secretariat. So this is not the first time, and given the fact that the practices are new, and also the confidence with each candidate hold for winning the elections, tensions then been done there, and so there was too much of suspicions and doubts then we therefore exist. And so because of doubts then they exist in the process, and at the material time, the tensions and confusion therefore be erupt in the table, and disruption of tables and other electoral and other materials that we therefore destroyed. There was this need for make the National Secretariat cool down the tension and decide for who will cancel the election so that we come and start them all over in Africa.
So waiting are there suspicions and doubts here where amounts for cancel a whole election?
Well, doubts like overvoting or undervoting, something like that begin to exist. And also people begin accused of either vote buying and stuff like that, all of them accusations that they've been there. So in the face of all of that, and the tension also we've been doing at the heart of each candidate for winning the elections, and given the fact that every candidate determine and just will win, the leadership of the party thought of the need for cool down the tension, because after it all, are the same family, and we know for going to the context. After that contest, they will still serve as an enemy, and we have a bigger picture. So this is an internal elections wherein the leadership self gets the role for play in all of it. Whatever the tension don't arise, we get to cool down that tension and come back and sit at the family. Let the process be stalled, and we come to the drawing board. Let we get a general understanding of what it is, waiting at the nature of elections we'll be going to, and we'll be going to this context as a family. And therefore, we will come back, we will understand that anyone win, a win for all. And it should not be a context of enmity, a context where for makes us say after the process will not talk to each other.
Lima, when
so
you begin
that's the leadership decision for make because of the doubt and confusion of either over voting or vote buying or vote rigging. So the process was stalled, and the process was cancelled because, especially for the confusion, the violence we erupt inside and decide the law can continue.
You make mention of democratic best practice where it's not been done at that particular elections day. This is not just one wing of the Sierra Leone People's Party, and una the ruling party. If we're not able to manage just one wing of una party, then structure forget an election for like more credible and begin get issues of suspicions and doubts where you talk about how the Sierra Leone People's Party they plan for manage a whole national election come 2023 if we're not able to organize just a wing of una own party.
Well, I think that maybe a misplacement of thoughts. The SLPP very well known for democratic best practice, for even take a decision for council the process, also even lend credence to the leadership of the party and also show responsibility to the SLPP. Because any other political party, we're not quite responsible, can do anything at the expense of the popular will of the people. But for make you able for even notice discrepancies or issues of doubts or suspicion and decide for cancel the process and come and start all over again, it is because you also able to identify the nature of elections and the animosity into which people are going. And because you take a leadership decision for nullify the process, it even shows responsibility, and it shows the political parties get knowledge and idea how to manage themselves and how to manage democratic elections. And that is more the reason why we are here today. Other than arriving at a decision where we don't leave the party in disarray and then we can't return, it's really bad to such an extent that people therefore begin to think of other things that will not be good for the party in progress. Now the wise thing where the leadership do for take that decision there so that we will keep the party as a unit and we will keep the party as a family and go into that context. Because now also forget, say, we don't do an Amoyamba, and it was very successful because at that material time, there's some young people, anytime young people then meet up issues them of like confusion not can be done. But at that material time, even though it not be really necessary for like because some people would have taken the initiative to allow the leadership to make statements to the point of discipline, like you the discipline you begin them. Somebody would have stepped in and saved the face. But the leadership take a drastic leadership step for make sure they tame the excesses of the young people, and we therefore get that process, the outcome of that process very successful. Also in Kailang, the leadership, especially His Excellency the President, who is the leader of the party, make a sincere leadership comments, and we've been get for set the tone. But that notwithstanding, people they go into the context with a full determination of winning, and also doubts them be done day because of them process them be. And so because doubts them day, nobody not going to say, okay, because me the position of authority, I going to take advantage or disadvantage the others. So the leadership thought and fit and be very responsible as a party. We get knowledge for conduct democratic elections and say, let we nullify this because of them doubt and suspicions around the process. And let's come back to the drawing board and make sure say we get an understanding of the nature of elections we'll be going to, and also have an understanding of the fact that we are going to this context as a family. And at the end of it all, we should not see ourselves as enemies, but rather as a family, and for the united to face
thanks to you, Lahai Lawrence Lima, for that update as to what happened. We make the National Secretariat of the SLPP cancel the election for the Women's Council. Well, the program Good Morning Salon, they continue, and we still get the Minister of Information and Communication at the studio. We try for wrap up the program now, but we now will go if we now make mention of few things we be left will not talk about yet. One gets for do with the promise we President Biobi make to people, and again we get for do with the Lunge Bridge under infrastructure. What's going to happen with that?
Well, so the Lunge Bridge, not a stricto sensu manifesto commitment.
But not been promised.
Yes, now a need to do, okay. Right? So then see they engage the relevant parties then. Once we get any need for an update, we'll come back now and update people there. But, you know.
So what's the latest assistance on the bridge?
I'm not briefed at all. I'm not briefed up to date.
Well, I'll take you back to your sector. We now the Minister of Information and Communication. Two things. But first, you earlier, some time back, 1 year back, when the issue of tariff became, whether the mobile company then for a tariff or not, government come in and say, when they assess the situations, and now let all the bonuses, free calls, then tap force. After 3 months, when they review, it's almost a year past, nothing come up. It's within the happen with them bonus and tariff where people been they get, and where the Ministry of Information been coming and talk with the mobile company operators them for put an old force.
Okay, so this one are two different things that you don't conflict. So the capping of the bonus to 10% in the Finance Act of 2021. Because government may get challenges for determining which one really na bonus, because once na bonus, you know they pay GST per. So government say now, okay, in fairness to all parties, 10% bonus, no GST. Any other one you do now, you get for pay GST, right? So that one in Naina, not to the Ministry of Information being taking that decision. It'll be important for all notes that one day. On the Ministry of Information, even though we not reduce the cost, the tariffs there relating to this, I mean, we had calls from members of the public for do further reductions, right? So all the telco then sit down, we agree, say, look, okay, let's do a cost study, realistic cost study, na the region, and on that basis, we could determine that. Well, I'm glad for tell when I say the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, where they regulate all telephone, waiting then, the NATCOM DG, Mr. Kaitibi tell me, say, they're not already there at the point for signing contract for that cost study for undertaker. Because now the most credible group that will do cost study for you. If you go take Musaman, this is on the 9 party, yeah, but ITU get a reputation, global reputation, now then they regulate that sector, they advise you, that's simply the best deal you can have. So that work is in progress.
All right. Many thanks for joining at the program this morning. Mohammed Rahman Sware, Minister of Information and Communication. For can give people them updates.